In the dim glow of a Manhattan hospital room, where the beeps of machines echoed like a fading heartbeat, Weston Hale made a promise that would shatter the silence of his regrets. At 55, with the weight of a lifetime's hidden loves pressing against his ribs, he signed papers that bound him not to another man in the shadows, but to 4 little girls whose eyes held the fire of futures he could never claim for himself. "You're my legacy," he whispered to them that night, his voice cracking like autumn leaves underfoot, knowing the clock was merciless and his heart was already half buried. Weston had built empires from code and Steelhail Tech, the software giant that revolutionized how the world connected, turning a shy kid from rural Ohio into a billionaire recluse. But money couldn't buy the one thing he craved most, a family unmarred by the era's cruelties. Born in 1970, he'd grown up in a Bible Belt town where faggot was both curse and confession, whispered behind barn doors while his father preached fire and brimstone from the pulpit. Weston learned early to bury his truths deep, like seeds in frozen soil. At 18, he fled to New York, trading hayfields for skyscrapers, and poured his soul into algorithms that linked strangers across oceans but left him achingly alone. His first love was a ghost named Daniel, a fellow coder with laugh lines that crinkled like code unfolding. They met in 1992, during the AIDS crisis's cruel peak, stealing kisses in Alphabet City alleys while funerals dotted the headlines. Daniel's death in 95 carved a hollow in Weston that no boardroom victory could fill. He dated in whispers after that, men who came and went like subway trains, never staying long enough to build a hearth. By 40, Weston was a tabloid phantom, the gay tech mogul who funded queer charities from afar but never showed his face at pride parades. "I'm building bridges for others," he'd tell his reflection in the penthouse mirror, "even if I walk them alone." The diagnosis came like a system crash in 2024, pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. 6 months at best. Weston didn't rage against the gods or bargain with doctors. He logged into life one last time, searching for meaning in the data of his losses. That's when he found the girls, or they found him, through a late-night scroll on an adoption site for older kids. The one statistics doomed to institutional limbo. For sisters, not by blood but by the cruel math of foster care, Emily, 16, sharp as a switchblade, her file noting a history of running from homes that couldn't hold her fire. Sophia, 14, artist with a sketchbook soul, orphan young and shuttled between relatives who saw her drawings as distractions. Miah, 10, the Joker masking abandonment scars with endless riddles. And Lily, 6, the quiet anchor, her tiny hands clutching a photo of a mother lost to opioids. Weston met them in a Brooklyn visitation room that smelled of stale coffee and fresh starts. Emily eyed him like a glitch in her escape plan, arms crossed over her baggy hoodie. "What's your angle, mister? Moneybags. You gonna ship us off when you get bored?" Sophia sketched his profile furiously, charcoal smudging her fingers, while Miah bombarded him with knock-knock jokes that fell flat until he cracked one back. "Knock, knock. Who's there?" "Opportunity." "Opportunity who?" "Opportunity doesn't knock twice unless you're building the door." Lily just climbed into his lap, her small frame fitting like a puzzle piece, and whispered, "You smell like stories." He adopted them all in a whirlwind of lawyers and tears, against the advice of everyone who saw a dying man playing house. "You're not their father," his sister warned from Ohio, her voice tight with the family's old prejudices. "You're their end." But Weston knew better. Endings were just plot twists. He flew them to his Central Park West penthouse, a glass palace of wonders, rooms with walls that shifted like moods, a rooftop garden blooming year-round, and a library stacked with books on everything from quantum physics to queer history. "This is home," he told them that first night, as the city lights twinkled like conspirators below. and we're writing the rules. The early days were a tangle of grief and grace. Emily rebelled hardest, sneaking out to tag graffiti under bridges. Her spray cans a scream against the vulnerability Weston stirred in her. "I don't need your pity parade," she'd snap. But he'd wait up, brewing chamomile tea and sharing stories of his own teenage fugues nights spent coding in internet cafes to outrun small-town stares. Slowly, her edges softened. She started interning at Hale Tech, her code debugging his legacy projects with a fierceness that made his eyes mist. Sophia found solace in the penthouse studio, where Weston hung her canvases like altars. Her art poured out the chaos of loss, swirling colors of Foster van rides, the ache of goodbye hugs. He sat with her through the silences, confessing his own hidden sketches from youth portraits of Daniel tucked in desk drawers. "Art isn't about perfection," he'd say, his hand steady on hers. "It's about the mess that makes us real." By spring, her pieces hung in a Soho gallery, titled Shadows into Light, and the reviews called her a prodigy born of borrowed time. Miah turned the penthouse into a carnival of chaos, her laughter a balm against the chemo fog that increasingly clouded Weston's days. She'd hide his pills in cookie jars, declaring, "Only superheroes take medicine." But when his hair fell in silver clumps, she braided what remained with yarn from Lily's crafts, crowning him king of the castle. Weston taught her chess on rainy afternoons, each move a lesson in strategy and surrender. "Life's not checkmate," he'd murmur as she captured his queen. "It's the game that counts the risks you take for the people you love." Little Lily was the quiet revolution, her questions piercing like sunlight through blinds. "Why do you love boys like you love girls?" she'd ask innocently over breakfast, her spoon pausing mid-oatmeal. Weston would freeze, then smile, pulling her onto his knee. "Love doesn't pick sides, Peanut. It's a big, wild river that flows where it wants." He read her stories of Stonewall heroes and rainbow flags, weaving his truths into fairy tales where princes kissed princes and lived happily, scars and all. In her, he saw the child he'd never dared to be, fearless in her curiosities. As summer bled into fall, Weston's body betrayed him more each day the stairs a mountain, breaths shallow as secrets. The girls adapted with a resilience that humbled him, Emily coordinating home nurses with the precision of a project manager, Sophia painting murals on his bedroom walls to chase the gray away, Miah organizing Weston wellness weeks with silly dances and smoothies, Lily curling beside him at night, her tiny snores a lullaby against the pain. One crisp October evening, as leaves pirouette outside the floor-to-ceiling windows, Weston gathered them in the library. The fire crackled like applause, casting shadows that danced across their faces. "I'm not long for this world," he said, his voice a threadbare whisper. "But you've given me more than I ever dreamed." Tears traced Emily's cheeks. Unbidden, Sophia's charcoal fingers clenched her sketchbook. Mia's jokes dissolved into hiccuping sobs. Lily buried her face in his shirt, murmuring, "Don't go, Daddy West." He pressed envelopes into their hands trust funds. Yes, but more, letters sealed with wax, each a roadmap to their strengths. Emily, lead with your fire. Sophia, see the beauty in the broken. Miah, laugh through the storms. Lily, ask the questions that change everything. And then, the heart of it, together. You're unbreakable. Promise me you'll build something bigger than mesomething that echoes. They promised, sealing it with a family huddle, foreheads touching like constellations aligning. That night, Weston slept deeper than he had in years, the girl's soft breaths weaving a safety net around his fading light. Winter arrived like an uninvited guest, blanketing the city in hush. Weston's decline accelerated hospice now, the penthouse a sanctuary of beeps and blooms. The girls rotated vigils, their bond forging in the forge of farewell. Emily confessed over midnight cocoa. I was scared you'd leave me like everyone else. Weston, gaunt but glowing, squeezed her hand. I was the one left behind. Kiddo. First by fear, then by time. But you're my forward. Sophia captured it all in a final series, The Last Light. Portraits of their hands intertwined, veins mapping stories untold. At the opening, critics wept, calling it a requiem for chosen kin. Miah started a podcast from her bedroom mic, Riddles from the Rooftop, sharing anonymous tales of queer youth. Her voice a beacon in the dark web of isolation. Listeners poured in, moved by her raw hope. My dad's dying, but he's teaching us to live louder. Lily, ever the sage, planted bulbs in the rooftop garden tulips for tomorrow. They'll bloom when you're in the stars. She told him, her logic pure poetry. Weston chuckled, wincing through the morphine haze. Then make sure they're rainbows. Little one. On a snow-dusted dawn in January 2025, Weston slipped away, his hand in Emily's, a faint smile lingering like code compiling one last run. The city mourned quietly, a front-page obit in the Times. Tech titan leaves legacy of love. But the girls, they burned brighter in his absence. The envelopes his blueprints. Their grief the fuel. The funeral was a spectacle of restraint. Street. Patrick's Cathedral, filled with tech barons in black ties and queer activists in rainbow pins. A bridge across divides Weston had quietly built. Eulogies flowed his sister's halting apology for years of distance. A former lover's tearful toast to stolen summers. But it was the girls who stole the breath from the room. Emily, voice steady as steel, read his letter aloud. Don't mourn the man. Multiply the magic. Sophia unveiled a mural outside the church, Weston as a phoenix. Wings of circuit boards cradling 4 stars. Miah cracked a final joke. Why did Dad adopt us? Because he knew we'd be the plot twist. Laughter rippled. Cathartic. Lily placed a tulip on his casket, whispering, see you in the blooms. In the weeks that followed, the penthouse echoed with absence. But the girls refused to fracture. They formed Hale's Echo, a nonprofit from the seed of Weston's trusts, vowing to amplify his unspoken dreams. Emily, now 17 and eyeing MIT, led the charge, scholarships for LGBTQ plus foster kids, coding camps in rural towns like his Ohio roots. He gave us roots and wings, she told donors at a gala, her eyes fierce. We're planting forests. Sophia, 15, channeled her grief into murals worldwide, Berlin walls. Tokyo subways, each a portal to acceptance, funded by Hale Tech grants. Her TED Talk, Painting the Invisible, went viral, 50 million views. Teens demanding her sketches of their hidden selves. Weston taught me the canvas is bigger than the pain, she said, brush in hand. Miah's podcast exploded into a movement, live events in high schools, where kids shared stories under safe lights. At 11, she keynote at a pride conference. Laughter's the best coming out party. Dad laughed through chemo. We can laugh through closets. Sponsors flocked, turning Riddles into a lifeline app, connecting isolated youth. Lily, 7, became the heart. Her Question Quest workshops, where tiny philosophers grilled adults on love's shapes. Why can't families look like us? She'd ask, her innocence dismantling defenses. The sessions, filmed for PBS, sparked national dialogues. Lawmakers citing her words in bills for foster reform. By summer, Hale's Echo unveiled the stunner. Weston's Bridge, a global network of safe houses for queer and foster youth. Tech-infused with VR therapy rooms and AI mentors echoing Weston's voice. Synthesized from old voicemails. Launched at the UN, with world leaders in attendance. It pledged billions from Hailtech's IPO windfall. Headlines screamed, "Orphan sisters build empire of empathy." Paparazzi swarmed. But the girls stood unbowed, arms linked like Weston's last huddle. Emily, navigating freshman orientation, felt his presence in every algorithm. Sophia, sketching in Paris, saw rainbows in every storm. Miah, mic in hand at Coachella, heard his chuckle in the crowd's roar. Lily, tending tulips that indeed bloomed in spectrum hues, knew the stars winked back. The autumn after Weston's passing felt like a held breath, the city shedding leaves as if mourning in tandem. Emily paced the penthouse floors, her sneakers scuffing the Persian rugs he'd chosen for their stories, each thread a tale from bazaars he'd never visited but dreamed of sharing. At 17, she was the de facto guardian, legal papers naming her trustee until they all turned 18. A weight that bent her shoulders but sharpened her gaze. Nights blurred into strategy sessions at the oak desk, spreadsheets glowing like ghosts, Hailtech assets, trust disbursements, the skeletal frame of Hale's echo. She remembered his letter most vividly. Fire isn't destruction. It's the spark that forges steel. Burn bright for the ones still in the dark. It fueled her through the haze of loss. When grief clawed like a virus in her code, foster care had taught her distrust caseworkers false smiles. Group homes locked doors, but Weston had hacked her walls, line by line. Now, she'd hack the system for others. Sophia found refuge in the studio, turpentine sharp in the air, her easel a battlefield where colors clashed and consoled. At 15, her body stretched taller, curves hinting at womanhood she viewed with artist's detachment. The grief poured out in abstracts, crimson veins of rage, indigo pools of what-ifs. Weston's voice echoed in her ear. From chemo-side talks, beauty hides in fractures. Soft. Let it bleed onto the page. Her first solo show post-funeral sold out, collectors bidding on echoes unheard. A triptych of hands, his frail one. They're small and sure. But fame's glare unnerved her. Interviews probed like scalpels. How does it feel, losing your father so young? A reporter asked. Mike thrust forward. Sophia's eyes flashed. He wasn't lost. He passed the brush. She retreated to the rooftop, sketching the skyline's jagged heart. Miah trailing with her joke book. Lily in tow with dandelion wishes. Miah, 11 now, weaponized humor against the void. Her podcast episodes lengthened, guests ranging from drag queens to foster alums. Their stories laced with her punchlines. Why did the queer kid cross the road? To get to the other side off themselves. Listeners laughed, then lingered for the raw shares. Weston's influence lingered too in chess lessons turned life hacks. Anticipate the forks. Kid. Life's full of them. She anticipated the world's skepticism for girls. Barely teens. Wielding a billionaire's baton. Watch us knight you. She'd quip in vlogs. Lily, at 7, navigated with toddler tenacity, her pigtails bobbing like antennae to the unseen. School pickups became adventures. She'd quiz teachers on Daddy West's rules, like why love was a river, not a box. Her innocence buffered the Miah braiding her hair during breakdowns, Sophia drawing her as a superhero cape-clad. But cracks showed, nightmares of empty cribs, waking screams that pulled Emily from sleep. Hale's echo took shape in boardrooms borrowed from Hailtech execs, who eyed the sisters with wary respect. Emily pitched the vision, safe spaces wired for Souls VR realms where kids confront shadows safely. AI chatbots trained on real stories, not scripts. Skeptics balked, ambitious for amateurs, but Sophia's mock-ups silenced them. Immersive worlds of color-coded calm. Murals come alive. The first pilot launched in Brooklyn, a converted warehouse dubbed Bridge 1. They cut the ribbon on a drizzly May day. Rain pattering like applause. 30 kids arrived runaways with haunted eyes. Trans tweens clutching backpacks like shields. Miah emceed the welcome. Her mic a wand. Who's ready to riddle the impossible? Laughter bloomed. Tentative. Emily mentored the coders among them. Her tutorials fierce and kind. One boy, Jamal, 14, fidgeted with a laptop. I code to escape. He muttered. Make the real world glitch out. She nodded, sharing her own tags under bridges. Weston said code connects. Let's connect you to us. By week's end, Jamal's app prototyped a mood tracker for foster transitions. Beta tested on Lily. Sophia led art labs. Charcoals flying as kids sketched fears into dragons tamed. A girl named Riley, 12, non-binary and newly out. Drew Weston from descriptions. He sounds like a safe harbor. Sophia teared up, adding rainbow sails. He was. Now we are. Mia's sessions devolved into improv circles. Punchlines peeling layers. What's the scariest monster? She'd ask. The one in the mirror. A shy kid replied. Miah high-fived, slay it with sparkle. Recordings captured it all. Episodes spiking to 100K downloads. Lily hosted story circles. Her teddy bear as moderator. Why do families break? She'd prompt. Legs crossed like a guru. Answers tumbled addiction. Bias. Bad luck. But we glue him back. She'd declare. Handing out glitter glue. Parents watched. Moved. One mom hugged her after. You healed my doubt. Word spread like wildfire through queer networks and foster forums. Donations trickled. Then flooded $5M from a Silicon Valley ally who'd known Weston in the 90s. He funded my first app. The donor emailed. Paying forward feels right. But tension simmered. Emily clashed with a board advisor pushing corporate gloss. Make it sleek. Sellable. It's not a product. She fired back. Voice echoing Weston's boardroom barbs. It's a lifeline. Nights. She'd call his old number. Voicemail beeping empty solace. Sophia hit a wall, two critics dismissing her work as grief porn. She hurled a palette at the wall. Paint splattering like tears. Miah found her. Cracking. Why'd the artist throw? Canvas couldn't handle the drama. They laughed. Collapsing in heaps. Mia's bravado cracked during a live stream glitch. Dead air amplifying her stutter. Dad. He always had the reboot line. Viewers rallied. Comments a chorus, echo strong. Lily's first school bully called her rich orphan freak. She came home silent. Tulips wilted in her backpack. The sisters rallied a family meeting on the rug, sharing scars like trading cards. Weston said we're the bridge. Emily reminded. Bulls cross. We stand. By fall, Bridge 1 housed its first residents, 5 siblings fleeing conversion camps. The girls moved in temporarily. The penthouse a revolving door of chaos and comfort. Cooking spaghetti became strategy, sauce for the soul. Miah dubbed it. Emily's acceptance to Stanford loomed. A fork in her road. Can't leave you. She confessed to Sophia over late-night pizza. We're the code now. Run together. Sophia's invite to an art residency in London tugged too. Paris called. Now this. But home's here. They vowed monthly check-ins. Virtual or visceral. Mia's school counselor suggested therapy. She quipped. Already got 4 shrinks and skirts. But sessions helped. Unpacking the jester's mask. Lily started kindergarten. Her question quest evolving into a class project, kids interviewing elders on love's evolutions. The principal beamed. She's changing narratives. As Thanksgiving neared, they hosted a Echo Feast foster kids. Mentors. Misfits crammed around the table. Toasts rang to Weston. The architect. To them. The builders. Laughter drowned the empty chair. Yet, in quiet moments, grief revisited Weston's sweater on the couch. His cologne faint. Emily traced its weave, whispering, "We miss you, but we're making you proud." Outside, the city pulsed, oblivious to the miracle unfolding in its veins. Hale's Echo's gala approachita black tie blaze at the Met. Emily's pitch to seal major funding. Nerves jangled. Sophia tailored gowns from thrift finds. Miah scripted zingers. Lily practiced her big ask speech. Rehearsals turned the living room into a stage. Props from the library. The night arrived. Chandeliers dripping light like liquid gold. Emily took the podium. Heart hammering. Weston Hale didn't leave us money. He left us mission. Tonight, we bridged the gaps he dreamed. Slides flashed bridge 1 transformations. Kids' faces alight. Pledges poured, $50 million. Then $100 million. Sophia unveiled the centerpiece, a massive installation. Legacy lines, wires and paint weaving their hands into infinity. Gasps rippled. A collector bid $2 million on the spot. Mia's MC stint slade roasts on stuffy donors. Heartfelt nods to hidden heroes. To the ones who love loud and quiet rooms. She toasted. Glass raised. Lily, in a poofy dress, stole hearts. Daddy West said questions build worlds. Donate so every kid can ask theirs. Envelopes fattened. Post-gala. Champagne buzz fading. They collapsed on the penthouse floor. Gowns ask you. We did it. Emily breathed. For him. Sophia nodded. Sketching the moment. Miah hooped. Plot twist, we're the heroes. Lily yawned. And the ending's just beginning. In the hush, they felt it Weston's echo. Not haunting, but harmonizing. The world beyond the windows waited. Ripe for revolution. Winter's grip loosened into a tentative spring. The city thawing like a heart reconsidering frost. At 18, Emily stepped into Stanford's sun-baked quad. Dorm room sparse, but stacked with code printouts. Weston's letter taped above her desk like a sentinel. Classes blurred algorithms as poetry. Ethics debates echoing his late-night musings, but homesickness hit like lag spikes. FaceTime calls with the sisters her bandwidth home. Hale's Echo scaled, Bridge 2 in LA. 3 in Chicago. Each a node in their web. Emily remote-led from Silicon Valley. Her thesis morphing into Echo's core AI, WestonNet. A neural net sifting foster data for matches. Predicting needs with eerie prescience. It's him, she told a prof. Eyes distant. Predicting the unseeable. Back east. Sophia, 16, jetted to her residency. Paris a blur of bistros and blank canvases. The sane whispered inspirations. But jet-lagged dreams replayed Weston's frail hand waving goodbye at the airport. Her series, Exile Echoes, debuted at the Louvre's Fringe Festexpats and Orphans rendered in oils. Faces fracturing into freedoms. Critics raved, a young Basquiat with heart. Sales funded Bridge 4 in London. Yet isolation gnawed. She'd video the sisters from Montmartre steps. Mia's antics a tonic. Miss your burnt toast. She'd joke. Miah, 12. Shot back. Miss your moody masterpieces. Paint me famous. Mia's riddles hit 1M subs. Her high school a petri dish of spin-offs clubs where out kids crafted zines of wit and wisdom. She deferred college for Echo. Touring schools as ambassador. Backpack Mike her Excalibur. A viral clip from Atlanta, her dismantling a heckler's slur with a limerick. Crowd erupting. Dad would have applauded. She texted the group chat. Emoji heart cracking. Lily, 8, thrived in 2nd grade. Her quest, now a school-wide elective. Kids polling neighborhoods on belonging. A local news spot dubbed her the tiny trailblazer. Her tulip garden a community plot yielding rainbow veggies for soup kitchens. But bullies evolved whispers of fake family, and she'd come home with scraped knees from standing ground. The sisters' check-ins fortified Emily's logic. Sophia's drawings of armor. Mia's rhymes. Challenges mounted. Echo faced lawsuits, conservative groups suing over indoctrination in bridges, claiming queer curricula warped youth. Emily lawyered up, countering with data, suicide rates plummeting 40% in pilots. Courtrooms became coliseums. She testified. Voice unwavering. Weston hid his truth to survive. We won't let these kids. Sophia testified too. Sketches submitted as evidence. Art as exhale. Miah live tweeted the trial. Hashtags trending bridge not bigotry. Lily wrote a letter read aloud. Questions aren't scary. Answers without love are. Victory came narrow. Appeals pending. But momentum surged celebrity endorsements. From Elton John to Emma Watson. Their stories syncing with Weston's shadow legacy. Emily's first date complicated the Kodia fellow coder. Alex. Non-binary and nerdy. Bonding over bug hunts in the library. Kisses tentative. Like testing commits. Does Dad approve? She wondered aloud post-coffee. Alex grinned. He built bridges. You'd honor him by crossing. Sophia fell for a fellow artist. Theo. In a left bank cave shared smokes and strokes. His sculptures complementing her strokes. Feels like home. She confessed in a call. Sisters cheering. Just don't paint him purple. Miah teased. Mia's crush on classmate Jordan. A drummer with dimples. Drummed awkward beats, stolen glances in band practice. First crush post-dad. She admitted. Scary funny. Group pep talk, riddle it out. Lily declared crushes, yucky cooties. But eyed her teacher with starry awe. Sisters giggling over ice cream. Echo's global push ignited. Weston's Bridge app launched. 500K downloads day one. Users mapping safe zones. Sharing anonymized journeys. Features. Virtual Weston AI voice from recordings. Dispensing wisdom. Loves the ultimate upgrade. Media Frenzy Pikita 60-minute special. The sisters profiled as the hail airs. Emily's poise. Sophia's passion. Mia's mirth. Lily's light cameras captured the alchemy. Ratings soared. Letters flooded. You saved my son. But cracks spiderwebbed. Emily burned out. Finals fusing with filings. A panic attack in the shower water scalding like unshed tears. I can't reboot. She gasped to Alex. Therapy unpacked it, survivor's code. Carrying Weston's unlived years. Sophia spiraled in a claims undertow. A Paris review calling her derivative of loss. She smashed a canvas. Shards slicing her palm. Theo bandaged. Whispering. The cut reveals the depth. She flew home unannounced. Crashing the penthouse for a sister summit yoga. Yarn bombs. Yapping till dawn. Mia's tour stalled in Texas. A school cancellation citing controversial content. Rage-riddled voicemail. They fear the funny truth. Emily flew down. Turning protest into podcast golden sight riffs with supporters. Lily's garden flooded in a storm. Bulbs drowning. Why do good things wash away? She wailed. Replanting became ritual. Sisters knee-deep in mud. Affirming, roots regrow stronger. By summer solstice, they reconvened at the penthouse first full family Valkyrie since. To the Hamptons. Weston's old haunt. Beaches beckoned. Waves washing worries. Bonfires birth plans. Bridge 10 in Tokyo. Inspired by Lily's heritage tales. Emily proposed. Annual Echo Eclipse-total immersion retreats. Sophia sketch themes. Miah scripted games. Lily-themed questions. Laughter-crested waves. Griefa undertow they swam. One night. Stars pricking the velvet sky. Emily raised a toast. To Weston the bug that fixed us. Clinks echoed. Eternal. The world watched. Stunned anew, not by glamour, but grit these girls, weaving his whisper into a worldwide hum. As the calendar flipped to 2027, the sisters stood at crossroads carved by time's relentless scroll. Emily, 20, graduated Stanford with honors. Her cap tassel a talisman of triumphs. But the Real diploma was Echo's expanse, 20 bridges spanning continents. Weston's Bridge app at 10M users. Algorithms now predicting policy shifts in foster laws. She turned down Google offers. Launching Echo Labs and D-Hub fusing tech and therapy. Her team a rainbow of refugees and prodigies. Life layered complexities. Alex and she cohabited in Palo Alto. Their apartment a nest of nested function scuttles amid code reviews. But doubt debugged romance. Am I loving? Or just leading? She'd journal. Weston's letter her compiler. Alex's patience parsed it. You're both. That's the feature. Not bug. Sophia, 18, parlayed Paris into a MoMA fellowship. Her atelier in Chelsea a chaos of clay and canvas. Theo followed. Their loft a love lab late nights debating Duchamp over dim sum. Her exhibit, fractured familiars, toured globally. Proceeds piping to bridges in war-torn zones. Acclaim ached. Though, a profile dubbed her Weston's widow, reducing her to relic. I'm the phoenix, not the ash. She fumed to Miah over wine. Burn the label. Miah's empire of wit. 13 and touring TEDx stages. Her book, Riddles of the Realm, a bestseller for young rebels. Jordan drummed her world tour. Beats syncing with her bars. High school skipped for homeschool hybrid. She mentored via Zoom. Her laugh lines deepening like Weston's had. A backlash brewed conservatives boycotting her shows. Labeling groomer gab. She countered with a special, jokes for justice. Proceeds to legal aid. Dad joked through IVs. She posted. I'll riff through riots. Lily, 10, entered middle school a whirlwind. Her Quest, now a non-profit arm podcast with peers grilling Pauls on equality. A viral episode, her interviewing a senator on trans rights. Tiny voice toppling talking points. Why hide hearts? She pressed. The clip sparked bills. Lily testifying in D.C. Sisters flanking like Secret Service. Home. She navigated tween Tempest's first period a blood mystery solved by Sophia's sketches. Crushes on a classmate fluttering like faulty firewalls. Love's confusing. She confided to Emily. Like Dad's Rivers Wild. Echo's zenith crested with the UN Summit, Global Guardians. Sisters keynote NG on youth autonomy. Emily's data deluge, 80% retention in bridges versus 40% systemic. Sophia's visuals, immersive installs of user stories. Miah's opener, why'd the world adopt walls? To keep out the wonder. Lily's closer, questions aren't threats. They're keys. Pledges hit $1 billion. Partners from Gates to Google. But hubris hauntida whistleblower leak. Early AI glitches misrouting kids to unsafe homes. Media mauled. Hale airs high-tech hazard. Emily's world imploded. Congressional hearings her coliseum. We iterated. She defended. Voice velvet over steel. Human oversight tripled post-flaw. Nights. She paced Alex's arms. Did I code his dream wrong? Sophia weaponized art, a protest piece at Times Square. Glitchy projections of broken bridges mending. Crowds gathered. Hashtags healing fix the echo. Miah's mic turned megaphone, live from hearings. Interviewing affected families. Her empathy eclipsing wit. We aired. We evolve. She vowed. Jordan's hugs held the hurt. Lily wrote op-eds. Her child's eye piercing. Mistakes are like muddy puddles jump em. Don't drown. Schools adopted her metaphor. Curricula shifting. Crisis catalyzed. Audits airtight. AI open-sourced for scrutiny. Trust rebuilt. Stronger user numbers doubled. Stories of saves stacking like testimonials. Personal tides turned 2. Emily proposed to Alex under Stanford Oaks. Ring etched with circuit hearts. Merge our mains. Alex yes said. Tears ternary, joy. Fear. Forever. Sophia and Theo eloped in a vineyard. Vows and verse. Sisters as witnesses. From shadows to shared light. She toasted. Mia's engagement to Jordan at a gig drum solo cueing the ask. Crowd roaring approval. Beat with me. Affirmative. Lily. Flower girl eternal. Tossed petals predicting more rivers ahead. Echo innovated. Legacy loops. VR reunions for separated siblings. Weston's voice narrating bridges built. Users wept in headsets. Feedback healed the haunt. A docuseries deal. Echoes eternal. Sisters narrating arcs. Filming revisited Ohio Weston's boyhood barn. Now a bridge site. Emily touched the weathered wood. Full circle. Ghosts grinned. Challenges persisted budget crunches in bridges abroad. Staff burnout. Emily's sabbatical. Hiking Appalachians. Trail talks with locals on routes. He ran from here. She mused. I returned to route. Sophia mentored refugees in Athens. Paints as passports. Miah headlined Pride Fests. Jokes bridging generations. Lily lobbied for Weston Act's federal foster reforms. By 2028's Bloom. Echo eclipsed Empire's 50 bridges. App at 50M. A force reshaping rights. The sisters. Scattered yet synced. Gathered yearly at the penthouse. Rooftop tulips triumphant. One eve. Stars scripting secrets. Emily raised her glass. To the man who debugged our destinies. Echoes affirmed, love's code. Compiling endless. The stun rippled outward. Headlines heralded not heirs. But harbingers for girls who'd turned final days into forever dawns. Time's tapestry wove onward into 2030. Threads of trial and transcendence intertwining the sisters' lives like vines claiming stone. Emily. 22. Wed Alex in a silicon ceremony code vows exchanged under drone-lit arches. Guests from bridge alums to boardroom vets. Hails Echo. Under her CEO helm. Birth, quantum kin, blockchain-secured family trees for foster diaspora. Tracing bloodlines lost to bureaucracy. Motherhood loomed. Adoption papers for a trans teen. Kai. 15. His eyes echoing her own guarded youth. You're the upgrade. She told him. Weston's wisdom, her firmware. Parenting parsed her in new sleepless codings with Kai's nightmares. Teaching him to trust the net. Alex balanced it. Their trio a trinity of trials, family dinners debating ethics. Hikes hashing heartaches. Dad would have geeked on this. Emily sighed. Kai's first hackathon win in hand. Sophia. 20. And Theo's twins arrived via surrogate Lila and Theo Jr. Bundles of brushstroke chaos. Motherhood muted her mania. Studio hours stolen between feedings. Her work evolving to nurture narratives, collaboratives with moms in maternity wards. Canvases co-created in crisis. A Venice Biennale win validated. From orphan to oracle. But postpartum shadows stalked. Theo's steady sketches pulled her through. Our palettes fuller now. She visited bridges in Beirut. Painting with child refugees. Their tiny hands trembling on pallets. War whites out worlds. A girl whispered. Sophia nodded. Hues healing, we recolor. Mia's matrimony to Jordan birthed a brood-adopted duo. Sam and Riley. 8 and 6. Drummers in training. At 15. Her media moguldom minted Riddle Realms, immersive theaters blending stand-up and therapy. Global franchises. A Netflix special. Mia's Mirthquake. Mended millions. Her pregnancy reveal mid-set, a mic drop moment. Jokes to juniors incoming. Turing tempered by tiny tasks, bedtime stories rift rhythmic. Kai's visits crossing coasts for cousin capers. Backlash lingered, a podcast feud with a pundit decrying her woke whimsy. Miah Mike Mercy, laugh or lash. Life's too short for both. Lily, 12, leaped into adolescence. Braces glinting like beacons. Her Quest, a quarterly journal syndicated in schools. Boy crushes bloomed, awkward first kiss at a bridge dance. Fumbled but fond. Rivers rush. She journaled. Sister's stories her sextant. Activism amplified. UN Youth Council seat. Her speeches slicing silences on climate queer intersections. Hearts and habitats heal together. She'd proclaim. Echo's Odyssey hit headwinds, a cyber attack from ideologues. Data dams breached. Emily's war room waged digital defense. Firewalls fortified with global hackers. Weston's worst glitch was hiding. She rallied. We expose and endure. Recovery rallied resolve, secure souls protocol. User-vetted vaults. Trust tallied in testimonials of bridge grads wedding invite. You bridged my broken. Sophia's scandal simmered, an ex-gallerist accusing appropriation. My pain's not prop. She blogged. Bloodied but unbowed. Support surged sister solidarity. Theo's testimonials. Verdict vindicated. Her vulnerability viral. Art's ache is authentic. Mia's mishap, a tweet tantrum on tour fatigue. Fans fracturing. Burnout's no joke. She owned an apology vlog. Jordan's jams. Kids cuddles. Sister's summons to the Hamptons harmony restored. Lily's low, a policy pivot gutting foster funds. Her lobby laps futile. Tears at the penthouse. Questions unanswered hurt. Emily's embrace. Persist. Puzzles persist. Pivots propelled. Echoes, horizon hubs, eco-villages for aging out youth. Sustainable sanctuaries blending farms and forums. Lily led the blueprint. Her green thumb greening grants. Family fused in festivities, annual Echo eclipse. Now a festival bridges beaming beams of bonfires. Sister stage side. Emily's keynote, time tests. We testify. Sophia's spectacle, light shows of legacies. Mia's mayhem, riddle relays. Lily's launch, future forums. Kids querying cosmos. Personal peaks, Emily's book. Code of kin. Bestseller blueprint for blended bonds. Sophia's biopic. Brushstrokes of belonging. Mia's musical. Riff on resilience. Lily's lit. Little questions. Large loves. By 2031's thaw. Echo eclipsed expectations 100 bridges. App at 100M. A lexicon in legislatures. The stun solidified, these women. Midwives to miracles. Midwifing Weston's whisper into worldwide anthems. Yet, in penthouse pauses, portraits of him presided eyes eternal. Urging, onward. Gaps grew. But glue held, virtual vigils. Visitations. Vows renewed. Emily, cradling Kai's coding dreams. Felt the flux. Sophia, twins tantrums tamed. Trace thanks. Miah, broods bedlam a ballad. Beamed belonging. Lily, launching into leagues. Linked loves. One solstice supper. Screens sinking faces. Emily echoed. To the finale that fueled our forever. Affirmations avalanched. Love's loop. Infinite. The world. Once stunned. Now sang along echoes of four girls. One gay ghost. Composing the symphony of souls. Decades danced by in a digital blur. The 2040s dawning with holograms humming in every hearth. But the sisters' saga stayed analog at core flesh. Feeling. Family forged in fire. Emily, 34. Helmed Echo Enterprises. A behemoth blending billions in benevolence. her silver streaks saluting Weston's. Kai, 27, co-CEO. His innovations neural implants for emotional mapping revolutionizing rehab. Mother to 3 more. A patchwork brood from Global Grabs. Her home a hub of hybrid homeschooling. Alex's algorithms aiding all. Widowhood whispered in 2035. Alex lost to a glitchy autopilot crash. Grief a gridlock Emily grid through therapy and tributes. Love logs errors. She wrote an updated code. Kai compiling continuums. Sophia, 32. A matriarch of muses. Theo and she sculpting a commune in upstate studios for survivors. Twins now teens terrorizing easels. Lila, 14. Aped her abstracts. Theo Jr. 12. Hammered harmonies. Widow to acclaims albatross. She pivoted to pedagogy, Echo Art Institutes. Global academies alchemizing agony to aesthetics. A Nobel nod and lit. For painting piece from pieces. Her loss is layered. Theo's tumor in 42. A thief in the night. Leaving her landscapes lonelier. He was my horizon. She eulogized. Easel empty. Kids' kindness knit her. Collaborative canvases. Colors consoled. Mia's menagerie. 27. Spans 7 souls bio. Adopted. A spectrum of spirits. Jordan's jazz joint juggled tours. Their duo dynamic dynamite. Riddle realms rivaled Disney. Immersive worlds where wit wove wellness. Her memoir Mirth in the Margins, mandatory in middle schools. Grandkids gurgled. Her grandma gags gold. A scandal scorched in 39. Deep fake smears from dark web deniers. Twisting her tales to trash. Miah maced back with truth tunes. A tour torching fakes with facts. Fans fortifying firewalls. Dad debugged with dignity. I do with drumbeats. Lily, 24. A luminary in letters and law. Her Quest Quarterly, a quarterly quake in academia. Married to Mateo. A meteorologist musing on moods. Their 2 tots tumbled through think tanks. PhD in philosophy at 22. She lectured on Inquiries Infinite. Policies pinned in her plume. Universal Kinship Acts. Ratified worldwide. Lost lapped. Mateo's maelstrom mind in 45. Dementia's dimming. Lily lit lanterns echoes, memory bridges. AI archives animating ancestors. Questions preserve. She posited. Tots tracing holograms. Echoes evolution. Eternal webs. Quantum nets netting nations. Predictive peacekeepers preempting plights. 500 bridges. App ubiquitous as air. Weston's voice a virtual vicar in VR Vespers. Tumults tested, a pandemic proxy in 43. Bridges bunkers beaming aid. Emily's emergency edicts, drone drops. Digital docs. Sophia's solidarity murals on masks. Mia's morale broadcasts. Riddles relieving quarantines. Lily's liaison with labs. Quizzing cures. Victory veiled vulnerability post plague paranoia. Borders bristling. Sisters strategized sanctuaries, haven holograms. Borderless bonds. Familial fissures, Emily's eldest. Kai's kin clashing over careers, tech trapped souls. A niece nagged. Mediation mirrored Weston's. Merge. Don't merge. Sophia's son split for seas. Pirate passions pulling. Anchors away. She ached. But painted his prow. Mia's middle. A maverick musician. Mold military. Fight with funny. She finessed. Enlisting instead in Echo's envoy. Lily's lass. Linguistics leanings. Longed for linguistics abroad. Quest calls. Lily conceded. Packing passports. Reunions riveted. 2050 penthouse pentad. Now with partners. Progeny a cacophony of cousins chasing chaos. Hologram of Weston warmed walls. His quip cued. Family's the feature creep that delights. Emily's elder stateswoman status, TED Lifetime. Her tome, Trilogy Timeless. Sophia's Salons. Symposia of Souls. Miah's Musicals. Matinees Mending. Lily's Legacies. Laws Luminous. Yet. Youth's Yoke yielded to elder echoes, aches and arches. Anniversaries of Absences. Annual Altars, Tulips. Toasts. Tales Traded. One Autumn Assembly. Leaves like letters from lost loves. Emily evoked. 50 years since his farewell. We farmed his fields. Sophia stroked. Blooms boundless. Miah mused. Jokes juiced the journey. Lily queried. What's next? Nodding to stars. They knew. The echo endures. Eternal. The world, perpetually stunned, stood schooled by for women who'd alchemized adoption's ashes into anthems of affinity. The 2060s shimmered with synaptic symphonies, neural links lacing lives. But the Hale sisters' heart stayed in the haptic touches tangible, tales told in tones untranslatable. Emily, 44, retired from CEO crest to council convener. Her corpus of code conserved in cryogenic clouds. Kai captaining the corpus. Grandmother to galaxy's grandkids, globe-trotting echo outposts, her days dawned in dawn meditations. Alex's ashes altered beside Weston's portrait. A neural memoir. Entwined eternities. Interfaced intimacies. Users empath in G her evolutions. Widowed wisdom waned loneliness. A late love. Lena, a linguist linking languages. Laced her later years. Love loops back. Emily encoded. Their cottage a codex of calm. Sophia, 42. A grande dame of galleries. Her commune a conservatory for creators. Twins trailblazing, Lila's light installations. Theo Jr. S. tonal tapestries. Great-grandmother glow. She guided global guilds. Her sanctuary strokes, Sirieshalo paintings, healing Holocaust heirs hailed as holographic haiku. Losses layered, a lung legacy from Loft's lead. But legacy lit lungs clones of canvases curing clinics. Theo's echo endured in exhibits eternal. Her evenings etching epics with Lena's visits. Vintage's vintage. Miah's matriarch mantle. 37. Her realm a republic of revelry grand venues vending visions. Great-grandkids grooving gigs. Jordan's jazz jamboree jam-packed jubilees. Their duo duet NG decades. A neural net of narratives. Mirth matrices. Mapped moods for masses. Her final film finale funnies, a farewell farce at 60. Scars scarred sweetly, a stroke in 58. Speech slurred but spirit spry. Rehab riddles rallying recovery. Stumble into punchlines. She prescribed. Progeny performing proxies. Lily, 34. A laureate of lore. Her quest cosmos, a constellation of colleges. Mateo memorialized in meteor monographs. Three treasures taught tenets. Her treatise, Queries Quantum, quantum leaping queries into quanta. Great Aunt Glee. She quizzed quasars. Policies pulsing planetary. Dementia danced in 62. But digital doubles dialogued. Her essence emulated. Mine's a multiverse. She mused to mates. Echo's apex, omni orbits. Orbital outposts, orbiting orphans. Space-age sanctums for stellar strays. 1,000 bridges. App and aura enveloping Earth. Weston's words waveformed worldwide. Tempests thundered, a techno-tyranny in 65. Regimes repressing reaches. Emily's enclave encrypted escapes. Sophia's signals smuggled stories. Miah's memes mobilized masses. Lily's litanies lobbied liberation. Triumph tempered, treaties tipped. Tyrannies toppled. Thanks to their tapestry. Familial phrase, Emily's heir. A hacker heretic. Hacked hierarchies, too tame. Mediation mended, iterate inclusively. Sophia's spawn schismed over sales, soul over shekels. Settlement, shared studios. Miah's minnow mutinied. Music majors minoring majors. Major in mirth. Mended. Lily's legacy last lampooned laws, loopholes lurk. Lit lessons leveled. Reunions resplendent. 2075. Holographic haven. Holograms of Hale youths haunting happily. Weston's wit winked. Time's the trick. Play on. Emily's envoy. 60 years of sparks. Weave supernovaed. Sophia. Strokes stroke stars. Miah. Riffs ripple realms. Lily. Queries quest quasars. Stars saluted. Symphony swelling. Stun subsided to scripture. Scriptures of sisters. Scripting salvation. Centuries cusp in 2100. The Hale helix hummed holographic. But blood and bond breathed beyond bites. Emily's essence emulated in Echo's eternal engine. Her 90s a nebula of narratives. Lena long lane beside. Progeny piloted planets. Kai's kin captaining cosmos colonies. Her code the constellation guiding galaxies. Sophia's strokes survived in stellar sculptures. Commune a cratered cathedral. Descendants daubing dreams. Twins tomes timeless. Great greats grafting galaxies.